Hello, my friends. This is going to be super quick. It was last minute because that's kind of how I work. My mind works very fly by the seat. So if you guys want to, thanks for inviting those friends. Hi everyone. I love doing this with you guys, but I have such a hard time finding time to do it. So what I'm going to do real quick, before I do a little rose tutorial, see I'm shaking because I'm trying to hold this camera, but I do have a tripod all set up. And I'm going to hook this into my tripod. Hi, Suzanne. Once I show you guys around my studio, and I use that term very loosely because my studio is my kitchen. So, isn't that funny? People start in their kitchens and they grow from there. So I want to show you, here is in my studio where I keep my paints. Thank you. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that I'm not going to probably be able to see any of your comments because I can't see them once it goes into the tripod. So I'll come on your pages and talk to you and answer any kind of questions or anything after this scope is done. So anyways, there is my great big huge paint bucket. I bought all these things at Michael's. You can get them cheap when they're on sale. This is how I store all my stuff. Hi Maria, how are you? I knew that was you. And these are my stamps. Sometimes I put stamps on my pages, not all the time though. Come on into my dining room and you will see the rest of my... Here's where I store all of my books, all of my junk. Usually, this is cleaned up. Usually it's a mess. Hello, Shelby. How fun that you're from France. And I usually stack everything up into the corner there. This does not... Thanks for inviting followers, guys, because this was so last minute, nobody even knows I'm on. So, okay, let's go back in here. Now you have a little walkthrough. This is the tripod that I use. It's called a gooseneck. It clips on right there. I think I got it from Amazon and it's super cheap. It's like $12, but it is so sturdy that you just can't even believe it. It will hold anything. The top swivels around. You know how you guys have problems deciding, oh, am I sideways and stuff? This just swivels around. It's awesome. So, hi Rowena, I saw you sneak in right there. Yay, finally, huh? Very impromptu, very unorganized. That's funny. You must have decorated your dining room the same time as me. Mine has been decorated like that for about 20 years, and I'm just getting ready to get rid of the paint. Here's my my water jar. I bought a bunch of these little mason jars from, I believe, Target. And that's what I use for storing a lot of my pens, my tools. Here is my paints. These are the best paints in the world, I think. They're Senneliers. They're made in France, and the pigments in them are so strong that I have literally had these forever. This is my first set right here. Then, of course, you go up to the big set because that's how we are. This is my first set. Look how much is still left. And you guys know how much I paint. So, okay, I have to show you my dog real quick because he just wants in, but I'm making him sit outside. There's Duncan, named after Duncan Keith, the hockey player on the Blackhawks. Hello, Dunky. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, guys. And when I put this in here, then I am not going to be able to see. I'm terrible at multitasking anyways. So, okay, I hope you can see this. I'm going to show you guys how to, oops, I muted it. Okay. I hope you guys can hear. Little technical difficulties there. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to make a rose because I made some the other day on one of my planners, on the bridal planner that I told you about. I went out and met with one of my customers. A lot of the customers want to meet me in person, so I meet with them at a Starbucks, and they go through my books, they go through my pages, and what they do is they pick and choose, like, oh, I would love to have something like that. You know, so that's kind of how I decide how to do a lot of my custom work for people. Made a lot of these. People see these like, oh, I want those. I don't even know what kind of flowers they are. It's just a flower. This is stuff I didn't even show you guys because I thought it looked terrible. So anyway, these flowers are so simple and anybody can make them. So I feel like I'm on the cooking channel because here's one that's already done. So, but I needed that for one of my steps. So you take your, you can do this with acrylics or you can do it with watercolor. I'm going to do it with watercolor right now because it dries faster. And let's see, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the paint in, but I'm going to use this blue right here because that seems to be a popular color. Everybody likes the blue flowers for some reason. So I just dip it, let's get this over here. I dip my thing, my little paintbrush into the pigment of the paint, and you start off with just, I hope this is centered. You start off with just a little dab right there. Then I go around that way. Then I go around that way. Then I add water to my brush and I get a lot of the paint off, and all you do, wait, you see how simple this is? You go like that and it gets lighter and lighter as it goes out. Isn't that crazy? So easy. You guys are all gonna have roses all over your stuff this week. Isn't that simple? Thanks for the hearts, guys. And then, okay, now the next step, you have to kind of wait for this to dry, which is why I made one up here. After it dries, you go back with the paint again and you just go like this in certain areas, just a couple areas. Get more water if you want, and you just keep doing that. That's all you do. And honestly, I think that with painting and the way it turns out so beautiful, I think layering is the key to it. Once that's dry, I'll add a white wash of my Heavy Body. This is Liquid-X. This is my favorite acrylic paint. It's heavy, it's like, you can't see through it, it's beautiful. And I do distress a lot of my work, and this is what I put over the top of it to make it give it that distressed look. The brushes, you know what, I don't know what brushes to recommend because I am still learning about brushes. I always leave the tags on the end of mine so I know which ones I'm using. So this is a Royal and Langnickel Zen brush. Have no idea if it's a good brand or not, but I tend to like it. What I've heard is that anything that's a sable brush is the best. I can't afford sable brushes though right now because honestly, for something like this, it would probably be $70. So I can do just as well with these. At some point, I'd like that. Thanks for those hearts, guys. Okay, so this is not quite dry yet. I should have made a third one for you. Let me see if, you know what? I'll show you my daily planner today. Okay, I was doing some hearts, some roses for today. So what I do is, normally I'll take my tray. I have a little bit of white right here. And look at, you just go over it. And the more you add, doesn't that look awesome? And it looks like some fancy technique. It's not, it's so easy, thanks. And what I do is I made these little, let me make a leaf for you. The leaves are so simple too. You dip it in your green. Okay, I'm gonna get green on my brush. I'll do a different color because I like to mix. You go like this. That's all you do is make a little triangle. And the more you mix the colors, I think the more depth it gives it and the more beautiful it is. Okay, you can go over that with yellow. You can add a touch of brown with it. Let me show you what happens when I add a little bit of white to it because these are dry from this morning. Dip some of that off. Well, now it's got green on it because I didn't. But see, it just, let me get that off. Add a little bit of white. I'm going to show you that. Let's see. I'll go through this one over here. It just, and then if you think you've done a mistake, you can't do a mistake with paints. Those are all together. All you do is redefine it again. And that is all you do. Can you believe that? Now, if you want a line there, I'm going to take a brown and I'm going to kind of go like this. Easy. Isn't that simple? Can you believe how easy that is? So easy. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, she must have gone to art school. No, simple, very easy. So, and as you can see, it doesn't go through the pages on the back. It did a little bit here. That's because it was wet. If you're afraid that your colors are going to go through, and if you're real picky about that kind of stuff, which I'm not, I could care less, you can put a whitewash over the paint, over the page before you start. Hang on, let me get it for you so I can show it to you. And it's called Gesso. I think that's how you say it, and you use clear. This is the best one I have found, Art Basics. I can't find it anywhere in any of the art stores, so I have to order it online. The books I use are Moleskine. I use all Moleskine books. And hang on a second, let me show you that too. Very unorganized. Just leave it hang. I can't find any. I was going to find some for you, but I can't find any that are, they're in the other room. I use the Moleskines always because I think the paper is nicer. It's not quite, it's just a nice weight of paper. The colors don't go through. You can use any writing tools on it. You can use markers, you can use gel pens, you can use brush pens, and it does not go through. All sorts of ways to watercolor flowers. Yep, you're right, Rowena. I need to take some lessons on scoping from you because I'm terrible. I need to make some notes or something. So anyway, those are simple flowers. After it dries even more, I'll show you another little trick. Have you guys ever seen these gel pens, Jelly Roll pens? I'm sure you have. You take one of these, and now you go like this. It's not going to show up because it's kind of a light color. And now it adds even more depth. Look at, you can go like this, define your, what are supposed to be petals. You can outline it, and it just adds more depth. I think the more depth there is in these flowers, the more interesting they are. Here's a, let me get a different color. Here's one that's kind of a sparkly color. See, you can even add black to the petals. I think it looks awesome. I just think you, look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? You just keep slapping on the paint and it looks beautiful. It's so easy. Yes, gel pens or Jelly Roll pens. You get them at Michael's. They come in sets of 10 or 12, and they're kind of expensive, I think. I think they're like $18. Or you can buy them individually, and I think they're like $1.99 each. So start off with just a couple colors. Your white, your black, your brown. That's all you're going to need. You know what? I totally agree with you. I think this planner and journal community is amazing. I've made so many great friends. I mean, friends that I think I'm going to have for life. I think I'm going to be going out, well, not think, I just booked a plane ticket, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, or let my hostess tell you about it, but I'm going out to meet 2 people from the planner community that you guys all know really well, and we're getting together in November, and I cannot wait. That's the way this community is, though, right? Everybody has so much fun. Okay, now I have to give a little plug to some of my things because honestly, I think that these books, I can't photograph good. I don't think it gives them any kind of, it just doesn't give them the credit that they should. So I want to show you real quick some of my books, my September apple, and I think a couple other of my friends painted these apples. I think Rowena and Babette painted these. You'll have to check out their feeds. Trees for October, love this one. I'm kind of getting into darker shades lately. My style's changed a little bit, and now I love, I know it was in my honor. I love you, I hope you know that. I love the darker colors now. So November, working on my pine cones. I think they're pretty. Here's another November. And let me show you some more. I'm going to be adding all these to my shop. Well, these are all added, but I'm going to keep painting more and more and more because I love it. So there's going to be all kinds of choices and options for you guys to pick for your fall books, winter books. At Christmas time, I'm going to have an entire holiday selection, and you guys are going to go crazy over them. They're awesome. Thanks. I love that wedding series too. I'm actually tweaking that a little bit now too. And to be honest with you, I probably get the most orders off of wedding and my faith journals. They're the ones that people just love, you know, the faith journals. They love doing their devotions every day. They love doing their prayers every day. And what a great thing to keep everything in one book and have it all in one place. You use it alongside your Bible journaling, and it's great. I love it. So September, this is one of my favorites. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I love this one. I kept this one for myself. I'm going to paint more for other people if they want it too, but that is my favorite October. Yep, journalcreations.com. Thank you so much for posting that, Suzanne. That is my website right now. Oops, not that one. Can't go to that one. And December. Okay. And this is going to be getting into my winter series. So this is just one little January book, but there's going to be all kinds to choose from there. And then let me show you this is my prayer. This is my spiritual and my faith book. These are the ones that these are not really filled out because I carry these with me when people want to meet up with me and see it. Thank you for that. So this is my prayer book. This is just a cool folder. I paint folders too, these inserts, so you can keep things in there. And I love this dragonfly, so I've been putting it on everything. I'm thinking that might be my shop logo. I might work that into it somehow. Here's my faith book, which I love. And this was actually a suggestion from somebody else who she just called me up one day. She goes, I'd love a faith book, but I want some kind of dandelions on it. That's how this one was born, and I love it. And I love the blue. That's it, blowing in the wind. I think it's gorgeous. And here's my gratitude. These all go together beautifully. I'm thinking about adding that wedding book with all the blue roses, which is already gone right now. I just delivered that to the bride yesterday. So anyway, so thank you for the comments. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for inviting everybody. I'm sorry this was so chaotic and unorganized. I promise next time I will practice and have a list of, like an outline of how I'm gonna say it. You guys can catch this if you miss it. I see that. You can catch this. I think somebody said you can download these onto YouTube or save them somehow. I'm not sure how you do that, but I will try to figure out. I'm sure you just save it at some point at the end. So you can catch this for there. And thanks for joining me this morning, guys. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I got to figure out how to do this now. Swipe.